I still hear the words, the way the officer leaned in, lowering his voice as if the air itself was wired. "Sir, I need you to listen to me carefully. Do not go home. Get somewhere safe." I froze, my hand resting on the dashboard. My wife shifted uncomfortably in the driver's seat, her knuckles white against the wheel. I asked him why. He glanced at her, then back at me. His jaw tightened, and instead of answering, he slipped a folded note into my hand. "Read it later," he muttered. The flashing siren lights painted her face in red and blue, and in that flickering glow, I noticed something new. Fear. Not the fear of getting a speeding ticket, but a darker kind, a guilty kind. I slipped the note into my pocket and forced my voice steady. "Everything all right, officer?" His eyes flickered for a second before he stepped back. "Drive safe." We pulled away in silence. For 10 years, I believed in her, in us. We built a home, a marriage carved from routines. Coffee together at 7 every morning, texts at lunch, late dinners she blamed on overtime. She was radiant in public, devoted in private, or so I thought. I never questioned the small things. The new perfume I never bought her. The weekends where she suddenly needed space. The strange obsession with jogging, even though she hated running. When friends raised doubts, I defended her every single time. "She loves me," I'd say. "I trust her." I was a fool. That night, after she fell asleep, I slipped into the bathroom, locked the door, and finally opened the officer's note. 7 words written in hurried ink stared back at me. "She isn't who she says she is." Underneath was a number, a detective's line. I didn't sleep that night. I lay there staring at her silhouette beneath the sheets, wondering who exactly I had been sharing a bed with for the last decade. The next morning, I made the call. The detective's voice was low and cautious. "You need to understand something. She's been living 2 lives." He didn't give me every detail, but he gave me enough. Names, places, timelines. Enough to shred the last 10 years of my life into pieces. She wasn't working late. She wasn't running errands. She was running operations. Money laundering, kickbacks, deals buried beneath layers of lies. A web of crime she wore like a second skin. And me? I was the cover. The perfect husband, the mask of normalcy she needed to stay invisible. But the cruelest part wasn't that she lied to me. It was that she was already preparing to disappear. The joint accounts had been drained slowly, so slowly I never noticed. The house had been refinanced behind my back. Every overtime shift was another nail hammered into the coffin of my future. She was planning to vanish with someone else waiting for her on the other side. I didn't scream. I didn't confront her. That's exactly what she would have expected. Instead, I became silent. Careful. Calculated. Every smile she gave me, I returned with one of my own, while behind the scenes I traced every step she took. I installed hidden cameras in the house. I tracked her phone during her so-called jogging sessions. I mirrored her emails and copied every message. What I uncovered could have destroyed me. Instead, I turned it into a weapon. Bank transfers under fake names. Whispered conversations with men I had never met. Photos of her slipping into hotel rooms she swore she had never been near. Piece by piece, I built the case. Until her entire double life sat neatly in my hands. Then, I prepared my revenge. First, I secured my finances. Quiet withdrawals, new accounts, precautions she never noticed. Second, I duplicated every piece of evidence and stored it in multiple secure locations, each one set to release automatically if anything happened to me. Third, I contacted the detective again. I told him I wasn't interested in simply turning her in. I wanted her to fall apart slowly, piece by piece, until she realized exactly who orchestrated her collapse. He warned me. If you go down this road, there's no coming back. I only gave him one answer. I never planned on coming back. It started small. One evening, she came home, tossed her purse onto the counter, and froze when she noticed the envelope waiting for her. Inside was a photo of her and her partner in crime, timestamped and location tagged. No message, no threats, just proof that someone knew. I watched her unravel from the shadows. Her laughter became forced. She jumped whenever the phone rang. She started checking over her shoulder in public. Exactly what I wanted. A week later, another envelope arrived. Bank records. Transactions in her own handwriting. Then a third. A recording of her whispering plans inside a hotel room. By the fourth envelope, she stopped eating. She stopped sleeping. She became convinced that someone inside her own circle had betrayed her. She lashed out at allies, destroyed partnerships, and buried herself deeper in paranoia. And through it all, I sat across from her at dinner, smiling calmly while asking about her overtime shifts. The breaking point came on a rainy Thursday night. She stormed into the kitchen, wild-eyed and shaking, clutching the latest envelope in her hands. Inside were divorce papers already signed by me, along with proof that every asset had been transferred beyond her reach. You did this?" she whispered. I leaned back in my chair, calm as ever. "Did what?" Her hands trembled so hard the papers crumpled between her fingers. "You think you can ruin me?" I stood slowly, walked toward her, and whispered into her ear. "No. You ruined yourself." I just turned on the lights. That same night, the police arrived. Not for me. For her. The detective had kept his promise. My evidence was airtight, and the people she once worked for wasted no time abandoning her the moment her cover collapsed. I watched from the doorway as they led her away in handcuffs. Mascara streaked down her face, her eyes hollow and empty. She never looked back at me. In the weeks that followed, silence filled the house. People kept asking if I was okay, if I missed her. The truth was, I felt nothing. No grief. No relief. Just clarity. I had fallen in love with a ghost, a fabrication built entirely on lies. The woman I thought I married had never truly existed. And the real one? She was gone, buried behind bars, or worse, once her former associates realized she was no longer useful. Sometimes, I wonder if she thinks about me in that prison cell. If she replays the moment she realized it was me pulling the strings all along. I hope she does. Because for 10 years, she played me. But in the end, I made the final move. And I don't regret a single second of it.